Oh yeah, it's working. Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm going to be changing the engine oil out of my Acura RSX Type S, and instead of doing it the traditional way, what I have here is what they call a fluid extractor made by Holt Industries. So here's the pump and bunch of different size of hoses. So the quick story is this: I've had this car since day one, since 2005, and I've always done the oil change myself, and I think at times that I wasn't too careful about torquing down the drain pan plug properly. Sometimes I would just kind of overdo it, and as you know, all the K series and L series engines, the oil pan, they are made of aluminum. So one day about a year ago, the threads out of the drain pan came out with a bolt. So long story short, I fixed it with an insert. I chased the new hole and the stock drain plug would go back in. So right now the engine oil doesn't leak, it's in there. So I kind of don't want to touch it again. So to change the oil pan, I would have to lower the subframe and all kinds of stuff. It's not fun. So I rather spend a little money. This cost me about $90 for this extractor. So I figured, you know what? Let's just extract the fluid from the top through the dipstick hole and just go that route instead of damaging the hole that I fixed. So what I think I want to do is this. I'm going to take this smallest hose and push it down to the dipstick hole and start pumping all the old engine oil out. But I don't think I have to say this, but I don't think I'm gonna get everything out of it. So what I think I'm gonna do is pump everything out as much as I can. I'm gonna take off the old oil filter, dump the dirty oil out, put it back in just snug, and put a 5 quart of clean engine oil and let it run for a minute. Then do a second pump, change out the old oil filter, put a new one in, and then I'm gonna put in a new 5 quart of 5W30 oil, and that should do the job. So that's my game plan. So let's see how that works. So before I even went out and bought that extractor, I already measured the whole diameter. This comes out to be about 9mm in diameter. So that smallest hose is gonna fit in here. So what I'm gonna do now is take the dipstick out and place it someplace safe and clean. Okay, so the dipstick's out, it's on the table. So now I already pushed in this smallest hose, and I can't go anymore. So I'm guessing that's the bottom, but I don't want to push it too hard, because if I push it too hard, it might just kind of curl up on itself. So I'm gonna kind of mark this here so I know next time that's how deep I'm gonna need to go. So now I'm gonna hook up the rest of this to the pump. Okay, so I got the hookups attached. I don't know, man. I kind of step back and look at this thing. It looks kind of shady. It looks dicey. I don't know, but I'm gonna try it. This I don't know why this doesn't look right, but if it works, it works. Okay, so it has been about 8 to 9 minutes and I'm almost at 3 liters here. So there's a marking, it says 2, 4, 6 liters, so on up to 10 to the top. So this engine holds about 5 quarts of oil. So if I get everything, I did my math already, so I should get about 4.75 liters. So that would take me about right here. So it's slow, but it's working, it's moving. I can actually hear the liquids moving in there. So you can actually hear it. It's actually moving in there. It's been about 13 minutes and I'm already past the 4 liters mark. I'm actually up to this little line here. So there shouldn't be much more to go. I'm expecting to hear the noise would change, maybe bubbling or something, and then I'm gonna take off the old oil filter. The sound kind of changed, so I'm almost at the end of this. You hear that? It's basically all pumped out. Alright, so I'm right at 5.1, which is what the engine holds anyway, so that's good. So I basically got everything out. So let me stop this and I'm gonna go work on getting the old oil filter out now. So now I have the car jacked up and I have my drain pan underneath, and I already took out the old oil filter, dump it. There wasn't much left in there anyway, and kind of snuck and put it back in. And I'm about to put in a temporary 5-quart in there, start the engine as a rinse. I'm gonna let it run for a minute and I'm gonna turn it off and do the same process again. Alright, so now I'm putting the first 5-quart in here, and then I'm gonna run the engine. I'm gonna start this guy up, let it run for maybe 30 seconds if that. I don't even need to get the engine hot. The idea is just to get the fluid all circulated and do a quick rinse. Alright, the RPM kind of died down a little bit, so I'm just gonna shut it off. But before we do the second pump, I think I'm gonna empty this out. Looks like it might get overfilled if I keep going, so I'm gonna dump this into that where the new oil came out of, into the engine. So I'm gonna dump this. So of course I'm by myself. I gotta put a camera down. Alright, I just started this second extraction, and this time the liquid looks a lot, not as dark. It's basically dark brown, and all the way around it's different color. So I just started it. So we'll give it a like about 15-20 minutes. Sounds kind of funny, but hey, you know what? I'm pretty happy about its first run. It did its job, basically. So I like to get this done before it gets dark, because I still have to take off the filter and put a new one on. Okay, so it's been about almost 10 minutes and I am almost at 3 liters for the second pump or second extraction. The reason I have the jack, the floor jack here, I had the car up because I need to get to the oil filter, but I had to lower it, and that's because if I have the car up, the liquid is gonna be hanging back at the drain pan. So I kind of level it out, because the dipstick, where it goes into the bottom, it's where the flat part of the oil pan is. So that's why I lower the car back down. So when this is done extracting, I'm gonna put the car back up, put in the new oil filter, and put in the new oil. So I will say one thing about this, you can't really walk away. So you do like a quick 8-10 pumps, and you kind of have to come back within 2-3 minutes and keep pumping, because if you don't, it will lose suction or vacuum. So that's only the downside. But they do sell a a deluxe version. I don't know if that's pneumatic. You can hook up to like an air supply or something, so you don't have to do it manually. But that's like 149 bucks. This is only 95 bucks or 90 bucks or so. So I don't mind to give my arms a little workout. This is done. I'm gonna put my dipstick back in. It's getting dark, so I don't know what if I can finish this tonight. So let me get the oil filter going. Okay, the new oil filter is in. It's torqued down. So now I'm gonna do my second oil dump. So this is the clean one. So I'm gonna put the camera down. All right, so it's getting dark. I'm not gonna film too much, but basically I just did the second oil dump in there. So I'm gonna clean this up, and I'm gonna clean up my driveway. And since I'm not driving this tonight or tomorrow, I'm gonna let this sit. The engine actually calls for 5.1 quarts. So I'm gonna wrap this up tonight. I'll come back and check it out tomorrow morning at the dipstick.
The next day.
So it is the next day. The car has been sitting overnight. So I'm gonna pull the dipstick out now and check it. See where we are. All right, so I had to pull it away from the camera to check because of the sun. So the oil is so clean. It's a light gold color that I couldn't quite tell, but it looks like you know, the dipstick has two holes, the upper hole and the lower hole. So if you're the lower hole, you're missing about a quart. So I'm right about a little bit less than in the middle, in between the two dots, the two holes. So I am missing 0.1 quart in here. So I'm gonna put a little bit back in there, and then I should be good. But overall, I think that's a good product. I think that Extractor is probably more or less for people that don't have a driveway or don't have the time to do it or don't want to make a mess. But it works for me, for my situation, because I just didn't want to touch the drain pan bolt anymore because I fixed it before. So it works pretty well. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments below the video, and until next time, take care of yourself.